final step of our FBD process specification is to specify a couple of additional parameters that will be used for logging and estimating the values of those parameters. So we saw earlier with the diversification rate and turnover that it is possible to specify deterministic nodes that allow us to estimate additional parameters without adding them directly to the model. And so here we're going to create a few of these to show how it's done. The first additional parameter that we would like to monitor is the number of sampled ancestors in our tree. And so this is done very simply by creating a node numSampAnc that uses the function numSampledAncestors from the tree. We may also be interested in the age of the most recent common ancestor of all extant bear species. And so to monitor the age of that node, we of course first need to identify that node. And we can do that by creating a clade here that contains all the extant bear species. Now this clade is a workspace object. It's not part of the model. It is simply a construct that we're using to specify extant bears. And so once we have that clade, we can just define a deterministic node that will be the age of that clade, given of course the current estimate for the FBD tree. And then similarly, as we monitor the MLCA of the extant bears, we may also be interested in the age of a specific fossil taxon, since we have set the analysis to infer the ages of the fossil samples. And so again, we need to define a clade. So here it's going to be a much more simple clade because it only contains the fossil that we are interested in. And then similarly, like the previous parameter, we can set a deterministic node that will record the age of that fossil sample given the current estimate for the tree. Now this is all for the FBD process. And if we look at the ref script for a minute, we can see that this entire list of instructions can be found in the script under the heading of the joint fossilized birth-death process prior on the topology and fossil occurrence times. So we have the rate that we have defined with the moves that we have defined. Then we have the FBD tree specification. Then we have all the commands for estimating the age of the fossil, and then finally the deterministic nodes that we just created. So this is all recorded in the ref script for our analysis.